let's head over. Last but not least, our corner bead. I like to show this little trick. Let's see. What do I have? This is quick. I'm always thinking ahead. I'm always trying to be clean. I'm always trying to keep my work as clean as possible, okay? So moving into the corner beads. You know, you always get a little bit, this is a metal corner bead, by the way. I should clarify that. This is not a mud on, this is not a tape on, this is a metal corner bead. For ease of operations, I use the metal. There's mud on, there's tape on, there's different applications. I am from the city, in the Northeast, Manhattan, Queens, Long Island. This was what was mostly used. Now Trimtex has great products, you know, mud on beads and stuff like that. That's perfectly fine if you want to go that route. I totally get it. And there's nothing wrong with it, okay? So for the metal bead application, even if you clean it as best as you can, okay, on the corner, there's always going to be a little bit of dried compound on there. And when you apply your second coat, you don't want any of that dried compound getting into your compound because as I've shown you, the debris, it creates track lines, it creates havoc. We don't want the havoc, okay? So what I do is I have a sanding sponge. This thing is old, older than dirt. It's not as old as me, but dirt, it's pretty old. I just take this real quick. This has nothing left to it. You could use a stick. You could use anything really just to clean this real quick. And I always do this ahead of time because I don't want that debris in my compound. And I just go give it a little brush on the corner, all the way down, okay? All the way down. Make sure that corner is nice and clean, right? May take a couple times. That's it, nice and clean. And I do that before I do the polish coat as well. Very simple. Like I said, you could take a piece of wood lath too, or a piece of trim that's laying around and just go whoosh, whoosh, and clean this edge up. Because at the end of the day, you want this edge nice and clean, you know? So let's go ahead and get the compound ready. I will say this, I am choosing on the second coat of the corner bead to use my 10-inch knife. You can use the 8-inch knife. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with the 8-inch knife. Again, the goal here is we're going to go 6, 8, 10. I am comfortable using my 10. However, I only use a portion of the knife, okay? I don't use the full 10 inches. I only use about half, all right? That'll give me the opportunity on the third coat to flare it out even more. And I will, on the third coat, on the corner bead, I would use my 10-inch knife as well. So I just wanted to make that clear. If you want to use your 6-inch knife to second coat this, you can do that too. I find it slightly harder. But if you look at my 10-inch knife, I'm only kind of using about 8 inches of it. So, but I'm just more comfortable using it. And that's why I choose to use it. My handle's worn out nice. Okay. Again, we're just applying the compound on here to get a nice bed coat, second coat. The process is the same though. Once we get it on there, we got to cut the edge. Same as the seams. You're cutting the edge. And again, cut it on an angle so you're pushing the compound in, which is going to be opposite of the final coat when you're going to push out, okay? I want you on the second coat to push the compound in. Let's go back to this side. Again, I'm only using half mine, maybe about 8, 9 inches of the 10-inch knife. And that's only what I'm used to. Use your 6, use your 8, that's fine, okay? I'm a little short on compound. Let's go back to the bucket because that's what we do. We always go back to the bucket. What are you doing? Going back to the bucket. I'm going back to the bucket. When are you not? Never. Always going back to the bucket. Here we go. Let's go to the bottom. Let's pull up, okay? The wall's moving a little bit because it's not fastened to the floor because this is a set that I built in my garage, just so everybody knows. Here we go. Let's get it on there, all right? If you have been following along, this is no different than putting compound on all of your seams, okay? You're gonna cut the edge again. Come down. Cut the edge. I personally always give it a nice little, to get all of that compound off so I'm not dragging that along. And now we're gonna go for a final wipe, okay? See how I angle my knife in? No pressure. Come to the bottom. Wipe up. Take a look at it. How's it look? There's a little bit of debris in there. There's some pock marks. Some pock marks up there. We are going over the corner bead with very little pressure. We want to create an outside angle now. That helps our trimmers when they come and put their base molding on. If I push too hard, okay, watch what happens. I'm pulling all of that compound out and I'm creating a hollow, which is not creating a nice crisp outside corner. That's what we want. So when we are pulling our final wipe on the corner bead, we are applying very little pressure, okay? And the reason being is we want to fill that in so it's flat, okay? The corner beads are made to be filled in with compound, if that makes sense. So very little pressure, go down. I'm okay with that. We got a little bit of pock marks in there. You want to go one more time? No pressure, very flat on the knife. That took out most of the pock marks, okay? Coming up, same thing, got pock marks in there. I'm gonna pull it out. We got no debris, edges look okay. Give a quick clean. I'm always constantly on a corner bead, just always scraping and cleaning it. That's just a habit that I have developed over the course of years and years and years. So here we go. Again, very little pressure here. Very little pressure. Again, there's a little bit of debris in there. I always bring that up because as the temperature gets warmer, stuff dries faster. You're always going to pick up a little bit of debris in your compound. You want to get that out. Staying clean is important. I think I've emphasized that enough. Okay? You can turn a knife. Got a little bit of a bubble there. We'll put some compound there again. Coming up, we're going to pull it up. Very little pressure. First run. Look and see. Looks good. Let's go over it one more time. Zero pressure. Just pulling the pock marks out. Okay? Now, cleaning that edge up as best as you can. You're going to leave a little bit on there, but that's what the sponge was for, right? My horseshoe is a little bit high. Is it the end of the world? No. If you want, make your last wipe pulling down, no pressure, and leave the horseshoe in that seam. You're going to scrape it, you're going to sand it, and then when you pull this seam, you're going to eat that horseshoe up, and it will disappear. All right? So there you have the process of applying the second coat. We needed a little bit of time in between applications of specific aspects of it, the seams, the cross butts, the corners, the caps, to let it dry so you could pull through it, not struggle, okay? You can 100% do it all together at one time if you have the finesse and you have advanced to that point, not a problem. We do wet all the time. That's how I do it. If I go onto a job site and I'm going to second coat it, I'm not going there to pull all of the seams and waiting a day for it to dry and coming back and pulling the corners and waiting for it to dry and then pulling the bead, waiting for it to dry. I'm doing everything in one shot. So another choice of my material has a little bit more plaster of Paris in it. It sets up and dries a little bit faster. Doesn't dry 100%, but it dries enough so I can continue with my coating. It's important.